Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is Ros Jones, your business coach, with my weekly podcast show, Bold Business Bites, coming to you from Yorkshire. This is where I have a great conversation with a phenomenal female business boss, and we share some of the bold stuff they do, lessons they've learned, adversities they've overcome, and the fun they have. And then I'll be dipping into my toolkit and sharing with you a top tip. Business can be lonely, so make sure you join us each week and be part of our show. This week, I'm delighted to be joined by Zoe Hands, who's currently sales leader at the Marriott Hotel in Leeds and in York. Zoe is clearly genuinely passionate about her place of work, which makes it so easy for her to do her job. She has a clear and burning ambition and drive to be the best. She told me that the best advice she got from her mum was, don't think you can't do something just because you're a girl. Wise words indeed. She's a great example of and inspiration for equality between men and women, and instills the same values in her greatest joy, which is her 4 young sons. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy listening to our conversation as much as I did. So welcome to Zoe Hands, sales leader at the York Marriott and the Leeds Marriott. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Zoe.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. So you're in charge of sales at the York Marriott and the Leeds Marriott. How did that come about?
Well, I started with the Marriott 20 years ago, actually. So June will be my 20-year anniversary with the company. And I started at the Leeds Marriott as a room service supervisor, which I absolutely loved. And I absolutely loved working for Marriott. Literally, I think the first day that I started, I just thought, this is the place for me. I love the people and I love the ethos of the company. They made me feel really welcome, and I just thought I can find myself a career with this. So I started as a room service supervisor. Very quickly moved on to restaurant and bars manager at the Leeds Marriott. And then after about 6 years, I moved to Hollins Hall, which was another Marriott in Bradford. I did quite a lot of different roles at Hollins Hall. So I started as conference and banqueting manager. And then I did things like head housekeeper, I did reception, I was guest relations manager.
So that's a lot of roles. Did you just want to try a piece of everything? Have you got a burning desire what's your vision, your dream for?
Yeah, well, I always wanted to be a general manager.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I wanted to do. That was always in my head, that's the kind of role that I wanted to be in. So I wanted to try every department just to see what it was like, how you run it. I want to get a really good grounding I still want to do that. I still want to be a general manager of a Marriott hotel. It's something that I think I would really enjoy. So sales is a really, really good side of it as well. So I've been in sales now for about 8 years, but I did a massive stint in the operation, which has given me a really good grounding, I think.
Fantastic.
Of experience.
So you're in sales now. Is that so? How did you get to be at 2 hotels? That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a lot. So I've got 4 children, so I've had career breaks from my maternity leaves, but I always wanted to work. Every time I had a child, I sort of came back to Marriott. We always had a meeting about how we could make it work for the hours, and I ended up going back in different roles, which is why I had such a fabulous time doing all these different roles and really enjoyed them all. But then after I had my 4th child, it was a bit more difficult to work, and really I could only do kind of 15 hours a week, and the position was in the sales office, which I really liked the idea of. I hadn't really done a lot of sales before, so I went into the sales office at the Leeds Marriott and I did my 15 hours a week doing all the Christmas parties. So then my youngest child went to school. So once he started at school, they offered me a new role because we had a restructure in the sales department. So the new role was a cluster sales executive, which would mean going back to doing full-time hours, which I absolutely could not wait to get started. I was so excited. I loved it in the sales environment. I really found like I found my niche and really sort of flourished in that. I did loads of work in the Christmas parties at Leeds Marriott and thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think the hunger for the sale and being quite enthusiastic about the product and wanting to just go out and meet people all the time, it just made me want to do more in sales. So I was thrilled to get the role of the cluster sales executive, and I did it for about 6 months. And then a position came up at the Leeds Marriott again as the sales leader, which I went for straight away because I was loving this proactive sales role that I'd taken. So then I started as the sales leader at the Leeds Marriott, and I did that for 12 months. And then the position came up at the York Marriott, and they asked me if I would like to do both hotels. And
wow.
I literally snapped their hand off because I was just enjoying it so much, and really finding so much job satisfaction, and, you know, managing 2 teams now. It was a massive learning curve, actually, at the beginning. It was a bit of a shock because I was thinking, wow, I can't actually do all the work anymore. So I've had to learn to take a bit of a step back and delegate down to people. But yeah, it's going really, really well, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and just have a big passion for both of the properties. So that really helps.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's so easy to sell the hotels because I love them so much, so I can talk about them with genuine passion and enjoy being able to talk to people about the hotels. And I genuinely believe that if people come to us for a meeting or things like that, they will have a fabulous experience. So I feel I've got the confidence to be able to sell well as well.
Yeah. Well, that's a brilliant story. I love it. I know that each of the roles you've had, you go at it with, you know, full on with absolute passion for everything. What is it that drives you?
I really want to be the best at what I do. Every role that I've done for Marriott, I've always tried to be the best. When I was head housekeeper, I wanted to be the best head housekeeper. I wanted the rooms to be the cleanest they've ever been. I wanted to get the best results. When I did Christmas at Leeds, I was just doing 15 hours a week, but those 15 hours really mattered to me, and I really tried to make everything count and do my absolute best to get the results. And then we had like a record-breaking Christmas. My mum is a big driving force because she's been in business for a lot of years. And when I was growing up, my mum really put a lot of emphasis on working and the fact that I was a girl, a woman. And she always said to me, don't think that you can't do something just because you're a girl, because women can do exactly the same as men. And my mum always instilled that into me. And when we were growing up, my mum had a children's day nursery. And from a very young age, I would work in the nursery with my mum. I'd come home from school and go straight to the nursery and help. I'd go and pick the children up from school. I feel as though that's given me a grounding for having a work ethic and wanting to be the best. And my mum's nursery was amazing, absolutely fabulous. She's actually just recently retired, but she always had a fire and a passion to be the best. And her nursery always got outstanding. And yeah, I was always really proud of that. But my mum's like my biggest fan in a lot of ways. She always encourages me. She will give me the truth, you know. And when I went for my promotion, my mum gave me a pep talk before my interview, and, you know, you can do this is perfect for you, you'll be wonderful, you know. And that has always stayed with me, and I think that drives me. But my children drive me as well. I want them to know I want them to have a work ethic. I want them to know that things don't come for free, and it's important to work hard and dream big, really. I try and sort of speak to them about it. And I bring them to work sometimes. If it's something that I can bring them along to, I will bring them, and they'll watch. And I feel like children learn from watching a role model, and I try and be a role model to them where work's concerned, and also about women. I think they need to know that women can do the same things that men can do, and they can be successful. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. I love that idea of your mum being the role model, and now you're doing the same with your children.
Yeah.
That's what mums are for.
Yeah. Well, I've got 4 boys, so I'm hoping that I'm instilling some sort of work ethic into them, and try and get them to do things at home, like little jobs. And, you know, they can't have pocket money until they've sort of earned it in a way. So my mum always did that with me. And I think at the time when you're younger, you think, oh, my mum's really mean, and, you know, everybody else gets the pocket money. But I used to work for my money, and it's definitely stayed with me. I think it's important.
Yeah. Well, so when you say you want to be the best, which I love that, by the way, because so many of us just coast through life and we've got all this untapped hidden potential. So wanting to really stretch yourself and be the best, I really do resonate with that and love that. But when you say to be the best, so how do you know that you're the best? Have you set yourself targets? How do you achieve your best? How do you keep continually being better?
I do set myself my own personal targets. So my new target is eventually, I'm looking more of a 5-year plan, is to be a general manager of a Marriott hotel. That's my next goal that I really want to achieve. I try and set myself different targets along the way. So this new role is just amazing because I'm doing a multi-property role now. It's way out of my comfort zone. I've got 2 teams that I manage. It's learning how to deal with all these types of things to set me up for the next role along the way. With Marriott, I feel that they want you to go through the ranks. It's really encouraged. Even though if you don't feel 100% ready for the role, there's a lot of help there. There's lots of training, there's support to push you forward and to give you the confidence and to give you the skills to move on to the next level. And I think that's quite motivating for me. And the support of the managers, the senior managers now in the cluster role that we do, they don't micromanage you, and I think you can have your own ideas. It's exciting. You can be creative, and I try and encourage my team to be the same. No idea is silly, or we'll sit down and have a brainstorming session, and if we've got some amazing results from the craziest ideas for sales. I mean, sales is a different world in a way, but I try and encourage my team. I don't want to micromanage them either, and trust is a big thing, and I'm trusted to do my role, and I try and feed that down to my team and support people rather than micromanage. I think that's really important. Yeah.
Sounds an amazing place to work.
Yeah,
it's a job. So that sounds great, Zoe. But how about, do you have any challenges? What would you say is the number one challenge? So with the team, you've got 2 teams, different locations, and as you've come up the ranks, obviously you've had to learn management and leadership skills. What is, a lot of my clients and business owners generally have issues with employee disengagement, and how the challenge of how to turn disengaged employees into highly engaged. What would you say is your number one challenge with your team, for example?
I think,
or maybe you don't have any.
No, definitely. There's always challenges, of course, and being this disengagement thing is a real thing. And I think some of the team, maybe that are younger, sometimes, they don't want to stay in the same role for a long time. And I think that's sometimes quite difficult. But I think to try and sort of motivate the team, I think not micromanaging is kind of a big deal, and getting involved in people to be rewarded for hard work. And I think recognition goes a long way, and I don't think that the recognition that people get is always about money. Obviously people come to work for money, and being paid fairly and the rest of it, that's really important, but the best results come when people feel appreciated, and they don't feel that somebody's constantly breathing down their neck, watching what they do. I think coaching, helping people, sitting with people, even talking to people, just having a one-to-one with the team members, telling them what you've been doing, what have they been up to, just being human. Yeah. If things go wrong, a different approach of, coming down really hard on people, maybe talking about what's happened, has the process failed, what can you do next time to make it better? Yeah. And also mindfulness as well at work. That's a big Marriott-ism where we're really into that, and really into mindfulness and trying to get people away from the computers, not overloading people, just making work doable and fun and enjoyable, and trying to appreciate people as well for what they do, because people do work hard, and there's nothing worse than working hard and nobody actually noticing or acknowledging, maybe noticing it but not acknowledging that. So I always try and give the guys, even just taking in donuts or saying thank you. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money, and actually I don't think it's about money. Taking them out for a drink after work, or just say, do you know what, thanks so much for doing that, really appreciate that. You've done a great job there, you've really helped me out, and being a human at the end of the day.
I love that, the being human stuff. So there is that thing, isn't there? So some people can just go to work and go home and you know nothing about them as a human being. So one of the keys, they're called, in my Engage and Grow program that I use with disengaged employees is about sharing stories. We take it in turns to share a story of a time in our life when we've had a time of adversity which we've overcome, and we found some good that's come out of it. It's really powerful because you get people revealing stuff that they've never felt open and able to, or ever wanted to make themselves vulnerable, if you like, to share that with others. But it's a really powerful impact on the whole team.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking, have you had a time in your life like that you'd be willing to share with us?
Yeah, so 12 months ago, I've got 4 children, and 12 months ago, myself and my husband actually split up. And so it's been a very difficult 12 months in terms of emotionally, in terms of juggling everything. Obviously, I got the promotion in October as well. So in the midst of all my personal things going on, I had everything to juggle. But in a lot of ways, the first 6 months, I can't lie, they were very difficult. And I feel as though almost I threw myself into work, and I threw myself into looking after the children and focusing on them. And it's almost made things, better in a lot of ways. I've found that work has helped me through it, and I'm moving on and feeling so much better now 12 months down the line. But now my work, it has become extremely important. It's always been important, but at the moment, I really appreciate my job, my colleagues, and my colleagues have actually helped me through as well, so good things come from bad things sometimes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great, the passion that you have for your career and the Marriott is obvious. And I guess it's all about having fun, isn't it? And just enjoying and loving what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people want to come to work when they know that it's an environment where they can, they can have that. It's hard to go to work if it's just a daily grind and, it gets you down. So we do try and keep it a bit more lighthearted and fun. And I think that's actually what sales is all about, is trying to bring us some sense of fun to the environment.
Yeah.
Rather than just, hard work, getting your head down all the time.
Yeah, brilliant. So what about fun in your life? So you love your job, but what do you do for fun?
Yeah, I spend as much time as I can with my children. They are just brilliant. So I've got 4 boys, 14, 11, 8 and 5.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're very boisterous, and they like little puppies. They like to have a run around, or else they're climbing the walls at home. So yeah, I'm constantly on the go with the children, but that's my kind of relaxation time as well. Right, it gets me away from work. But they are just amazing, and everything I do at the minute is, is for them, and being with them is huge. It's really important to me. Yeah.
I was one of 5 girls, so and I remember asking my mum, "Didn't you want any boys?"
Everybody asks me, "Did you want a girl? Did you have a 4th because you were trying for a girl?" But it was never that. No. I wasn't bothered if it was a boy or a girl, but I'm really pleased to have 4 boys. Yeah. It's quite special.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm very special to them because obviously I'm the only girl, so they're all mummy's boys, which is really lovely, and they look after me. So I'm really lucky. I think you've got to look at what you have got, and I'm so grateful to have them, and spend so much time with them.
Brilliant story, Zoe. So just before we go, can I ask you just one question? If you were giving advice to a young woman about to go into business or heading off to a career, what one piece of advice would you give her?
You've got to fill your head with positivity, and I think that goes so far, because people will doubt you. People have doubted me. I mean, that almost drives me more, the doubters, because I think you've got to fill your head with positivity, and you've got to not give up, because it's so easy to give up. It's so easy to give up, and you will fail, but failing sometimes is a good thing. Not everything is going to go right. I mean, I've made mistakes and tried things and it hasn't worked, spent money on campaigns and it's not worked. But then on the other hand, we've done completely different things and it has worked. I think you've just got to keep a positive head, keep telling yourself why you're doing things, have a goal, and just try and keep the goal in your head. Really think why you're doing things. And I think positivity is the way forward.
Thank you so much. That is sound advice indeed. And it's been an absolute delight to have you on my podcast show. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
In our conversation, Zoe spoke about her mother, who's been a crucial role model for her in her positive outlook and the way she conducts herself in business and in life. And she's determined to be a strong, positive role model to her own sons too. Personally, I think it's so important to have a great role model, someone whose personality and achievements can influence and inspire us to be like them, or even a better version of them. For me, a good role model is someone who's always positive, calm and confident in themselves, who's happy with their achievements but continues to strive for bigger and better objectives, Who's your role model, I wonder? My mum was a key role model for me. I want to be as kind and compassionate as she was, as determined and positive as she was, and to have the deep interest and curiosity in everything and everyone, plus a great love of life. How about you? Maybe you can't find just one role model, so why not have a few? You might choose, Princess Diana for her kindness, Mo Farah for his discipline, your dad for his patience and wisdom, and so on. Who do you admire and want to emulate? You might want to write it all down and start being that person. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Bold Business Bites. Thank you for listening. This has been your Ros Jones Bold Business Bites show. If you'd like any further information about anything we've discussed today, please just get in touch. Go to businesscoachingyorkshire.co.uk. Please join me again next week when I'll be speaking with another phenomenal female business boss with bold business bites. And remember to subscribe to my show. Thanks for listening.